Hello and welcome to another episode of Random Considerations, and in this episode I'm going to be fixing the handle on this crock pot. This crock pot was actually left behind by our most recent roommate who just up and left all the stuff, and as a result I inherited some fairly nice things, including this crock pot, which works perfectly fine. The actual inside part is in the sink ready to be washed at the moment, and I'm going to fix this before I wash the whole thing. But I just really like the design. This is a popular design, as you've seen in previous videos. And so it kind of works out that that was the design on it. But the only problem with it was that it was missing the handle. So in this episode, we're going to be fixing this handle. Now the only tool that we are going to be needing for this is a screwdriver. Just a simple handheld screwdriver. A actual drill would probably be way too much for this. The simple handheld screwdriver should be sufficient. Everything else that we're going to be using is hardware. The hardware that you will need: a knob of your choice. I actually went to the store and purchased this knob because I felt like I had knobs lying around, but I felt like the knobs I had didn't really match the pot very well, so I wanted just a simple either white or black, and I ended up choosing white handle to go with the crock pot. I'm going to need one 3/4 inch number 8 size bolt. The bolts that came with the knob were too long for this project because they're meant to go in a cabinet, which is much thicker than the glass on this lid. So I'm going to need one of these bolts. Couldn't just get the one, so I ended up getting a pack. The rest of these will go in my stash, which somehow, in spite of having a bunch of nuts and bolts and screws, I did not have this particular size. Another thing is, well, I'm going to be needing 2 washers. These are 1 inch size washers with a 3/4 inch hole. They're 1 inches here, 3/4 inches in the center. And this is about the right size for our bolts. Next, I will be using 2 of this 4-pack of neoprene washers. They're basically just a rubber type of washer, 3/16 inch size. Comes in a pack of 4. I'll only need 2, one for either side of the lid. So here I've taken out all the items that I'm going to need to fix this, and the rest of the pieces have been set aside, and after I'm done I'll put them away in my stash. But here's the order that we're going to put this together on. Now obviously the lid goes down, the arch is up on this. The lid doesn't go this way, it goes this way. So the handle's going to end up being on this side. That of course will be the last piece we put on. The order in which you will want this to be: we'll of course start with the screw, or the bolt, sorry. And the bolt will go in here, which obviously this bolt is a bit small for the hole, hence the need for the washers. But it's the bolt that's going to go into this, so that's why we have this. So you have your bolt, followed by your first washer, followed by your neoprene washer, and you're just going to slide those on. It's going to look like that from the other side. And that's all that's going on the under part of the lid. And then you put on your lid. Those neoprene washers are going to help keep it waterproof so that your lid stays sealed. And try to center that as best as you can. It should be mostly centered already, but then you put your lid through. Then you put on your next neoprene washer, and then your next large washer, and then you start to put on the knob. And I'm just going to do this by hand at first, as much as I can, which that seems to be about it at this angle. Maybe I can get it better from the other angle. Hold on. Let's try it from this angle. That'll work. So hold it from the knob on the bottom seems to make a difference, and I'm right-handed, so I need to switch hands. Now we have our screwdriver. It's a Phillips head screwdriver here. If you happen to end up getting a bolt that's a flathead, then use that. And you just torque it down gently. The rubber seal is primarily to keep it watertight, and also to kind of give a little bit more buffer between the stainless steel pieces in the glass. And by the way, these washers and the bolts are stainless steel. We just felt like it would go best with it, and it's also a good kitchen-oriented type of hardware. So I like to get that on there fairly tight. And so there you go. It kind of leaves a little bit of it looks like a little bit of a gap. It really flattens down fairly well. It's a little bit of a gap, but not too bad. Kind of turn it to make sure that it's fairly lined up, which it appears to be. But that's it. I mean, it really is such a simple thing to do. I thought about getting online and trying to find like just a replacement handle itself, but I decided against it and just decided to go and get knobs at the hardware store. And that seemed to work out pretty great. And if you happen to already have a drawer pull and you don't mind whether or not it matches or not, and you already happen to have a drawer pull around the house and some nuts and bolts, you can easily fix this on your own with very little investment at all. So that's going to be it for this episode. If you like this episode, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below. You can follow me on any of the social media that I have listed in the little box down below. And I also have a second channel called Monkey in My Tree. That's a genealogy channel. So if you're interested in genealogy, you can check that out as well. And all of my stuff comes together on my website, randomconsiderations.com. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Goodbye, everybody.